Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be breaking down exactly how I automate my finances to build wealth while I sleep without even having to stress about it at all. Let's get into it. So, I don't know about you guys, personally, I like to have a visual when I'm learning and, listening to stuff. It kind of helps to comprehend things. So that's what I have here. This is Google Drawing. I'm going to be using this to kind of, explain and showcase how my money moves, mostly automatically for the most part. So here we're gonna have my in inputs, and here we're gonna have the outputs, right? Inputs are basically, the income where my money is coming from, and then outputs is where the money's moving to. And in the middle here, we're gonna have the bank, right? This B is gonna be the bank. Uh, so first we're gonna go through my sources of income, right? We're gonna do my job, right? Yeah, sure, job. And then this is completely automated. I have it linked to directly deposit into my account. So this comes in this week we're having this month we're having three paychecks. So I'm getting a paycheck this week and next week, and they're both gonna automatically be deposited my um, into my checking account at Chase, right? Next, we have my first side hustle, which is kind of like reselling stuff, primarily on Amazon, right? This is also automated, goes straight to my checking account. So that's on there. And then finally, we have my second side hustle, which is coaching volleyball on the side, right? So this is all automated. This goes into my account. These are my current three income streams that I have that are on the more consistent side. So these automatically pull into my checking account every single month or week. How often I get paid out, depending on each one. For my job, I get paid out bi-weekly for the most part. Amazon's also bi-weekly, and then the coaching is on a weekly basis. So those are my three income sources. They come in. They're put in there automatically. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about cashing in checks or anything like that. I set up my direct deposit, and if you don't have your direct deposit, I highly recommend you do it. The main thing about automating your finances is it kind of removes like some of the friction to making things easier. Investing could be hard if you have to think about it, like what am I investing in, how much should I invest, and stuff like that. And I like to automate it because it kind of helps to simplify everything, so I don't have to worry about it as much. So now we're gonna start breaking down my outputs, right? So first things first, here we have my high yield savings account, right? And then I do $1,000 in here per month. This is automated. I think right now my yield in there is like 3.7-ish%, something around there. Could be a little bit less, could be a little bit more. Um, let me move this out of the way so you guys can see. Um, you can so my high yield savings account, this comes in every single month. $1,000 is pulled around the 20th of the month into my high yield savings account. In there, I have my emergency fund. I have a car fund. Essentially, I'm saving up some money for a car in the future if anything happens with my current car, so I can kind of adjust that. I'd also start like a house fund in there if I was looking to get into real estate. I'd love to get into real estate one day. I was talking to my coworker. I think it's a little expensive, a little hard for me to get into it. Prioritizing building my base of investments first, personally. Um, Next, we also have my Weibo account. I'm just gonna mark this as a W. This is where I do my daily investments. Currently, my daily buy is still Google. I haven't changed any of that. I'm buying about $5 of Google every single day. I think Google is an amazingly well-positioned company that's gonna do even better in the future. It's already done really well this year. I think it's up like 40% or something since the lows in April. So that's great. I hold Google stocks, options, whatnot. Here we have my Vanguard, right? This is where I have my Roth, and I also have a traditional, right? I have a regular account, traditional brokerage account that I pay taxes on, right? And then this is automated. The Roth is automated, so it goes into my Vanguard, which is put into my Roth, and from there it pulls every Tuesday. It invests. Currently, I have it investing in Amazon, but if I don't invest in Amazon, if I don't know what to invest into, I'll put it into VGT, which is like a tech centric ETF that they offer. And then my traditional account here, this one's actually manual. If I see that I have extra money, for example, this month I invested a little bit more, there was a nice dip on Amazon, I want to take advantage of that. So I transferred some money from my bank account over there into my traditional and put that in there. And then, I deployed it over the week or so. Moving on, we have next is my, I think we have my 401k, right? This is also automated. This actually kind of gets pulled from my job, so it doesn't actually touch my bank account. So we'll draw this a little differently. So this gets pulled from here, and I get the 6% match on this. This is 401k, right? And this is automated. The main reason I encourage everyone to take the 401k from their job if they offer it, you should at least do up to the match because I get 6% match, so that means 6% of my paycheck, as long as I'm putting it towards my 401k, they're matching every single dollar I put in dollar for dollar. So it's a guaranteed 100% return on my money. And my 401k has actually gathered a good amount of income this year or appreciation this year just because I've been taking advantage of this match. I had a sign-on bonus too. Luckily, I was able to fill out my 401k forms and stuff to get it submitted before I received that sign-on bonus. So I got a 6% match on that 401k sign-on bonus contribution, which was really nice, and it really helped me jumpstart this 401k account and start seeing some gains in it so far this year. Uh, Going on after that, I also have my Coinbase account. Could be crypto, right? This is automated. It's $100 a month. I put into 50 into Ethereum, 50 into Bitcoin. Now, one thing I've recently been thinking about, kind of moving away from Coinbase, so I don't have to deal with their fees, is kind of doing like a ETF, whether that's BTCI for Bitcoin and then like an Ethereum ETF or a company that holds Ethereum, just so that way I don't have to deal with their fees. I can just own the ETF instead. I think that would be a little bit more cost productive and, you know, in general, it's not too good to keep all of your crypto in Coinbase. If you do that, you could look into a cold storage or, as I'm thinking, just do ETFs. You don't have to worry about the security. And then my final and most recent addition to this year, this is my Robinhood, right? Now, this is another one of my manual accounts. The reason being is this is my most active account that I currently own. Let me see, this is not on the screen, so let me do it a little different over here. My Robinhood account, right? So this is my most active account that I currently own. The reason for this is in my Robinhood account, I trade options, which requires me to be a little bit more on top of my things for when I'm taking profits and stuff like that. Um, so here, I don't want to automate this too much. I can automate money going into it, but I haven't just because, I like to kind of have a distinct idea of how much money I've put into this account versus how much money I've generated with it, what my total account value is and how much of that is profits or appreciation in my assets. So I trade options on this. I recently, today I just bought an option on SoFi. I bought a call. We have earnings next week. So I think we're going to see a little pop with that, hoping to make a nice little profit. But yeah, with that, what I really like to do on the Robinhood, again, those options are just kind of like another way for me to learn a little bit more about the markets and get new ways to diversify my income while exposing myself to a little bit different scales of risk to reward ratio. Options are a lot more risk facing. You have a lot more risk when you're taking on these options because they're in ways like a leveraged stock holding. But the returns can be worth it, and so far they have been for me. So that's something that I've been experimenting with a little bit this year, and I've had pretty good success overall, I'd say. Now, again, I really mentioned that the importance of automating and having like a map like this where you can track your finances and see how it's moving is important because it eliminates the friction of having to do all this stuff, right? For example, if I had to manually put in my high yield savings account, manually put my Webull, Vanguard, Coinbase, that'd get pretty annoying. I'd be like, okay, I need to set a calendar reminder for every single week, every single day, every single month to do all these things, right? And then I have to be like, okay, how much am I putting? Am I putting this much? Oh no, I have this expense that came up. It'd make me think about it a lot more. Similar with my budgeting, this is something that's almost like routine in my budgeting now. Like I know exactly how much I'm going to be investing, how much I'm going to be saving, and I can, if I need to adjust something, I can do it based on my spending, right? Um, But another reason why I like having these automated systems for my savings and investments is because it makes sure that I'm investing in my wealth first before I'm spending on Europe trips or before I'm traveling to Mexico for a getaway weekend with my friends, right? It's putting my priority on building my wealth instead of how else I can spend my money. And it kind of keeps me in check of not overspending on my needs, sorry, on my wants, and keeps it in my needs slash savings, which will ultimately, end up leaving me in a better position down the road from here. Um, and I mean, the main hassle with automating your finances is setting up the accounts at first, right? I have friends that I talk to, they're like, oh, like I've talked to them for like months. They're like, yeah, I need to set up a high yield savings account. 3 months later, oh yeah, I still haven't done it. This is the hardest part is setting up these accounts. Once you set up the accounts and automate it, it's simple, right? Why not make growing your wealth and becoming more successful in life simpler? You're doing yourself a favor. You're saving your brain power and putting it to other tasks that require that energy. You're becoming more efficient. By setting the system, you're increasing your efficiency. It's like taking a car and driving with the windows down, right? Your miles per gallon isn't going to be as efficient as if you put those windows up and just cruise, right? So you're setting your investments and savings on cruise control so you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to press the gas to slow down or accelerate. Everything is happening at a consistent pace on a monthly, weekly, daily basis, whatever you set it up to. And that's what investing is about. It's about showing up consistently and purchasing assets that are, backed up good assets that will grow over time, and that's how you grow your wealth. Of course, this is just kind of what my map currently looks like, and my handwriting is atrocious as you can see. I tried doing this on my iPad, but I was struggling with that. Still wanted to provide a video for you guys today. Please let me know what systems you guys are currently using for your finances, or if you aren't using a system, let me know how this video has inspired you to start incorporating that. Of course, as usual, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Bye bye.